Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Monday, January 27th. And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Cyndi Overton.
And we are defrosted.
I'm still frozen.
It's still cold, but all the snow and stuff is melted. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it is melted.
A lot, yeah.
And I think the last time it snowed here that we had any kind of measure was like 5 years ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. But that's the most snow I've ever seen in my life. In Louisiana. Yeah. Now, I've skied and all over and everything else. But this was like some aspen snow. I mean, that shit was thick.
This was like, and I almost regretted not getting out and playing in it, but then I thought about it and I didn't.
I'm a little too old for that.
Yeah. Building a snowman.
Yeah, well, we had to walk back and forth to the studio, and that's about much as I wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully everybody stayed warm. I think we only had 2 minor pipe incidents between the properties.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one of them wasn't ours, but my mom's. She had that busted the week before.
Exactly.
That was supposed to be fixed, but wasn't. And then we lost our hot water where we processed the meat.
Yeah.
But that's no big deal. We got to turn that breaker off, get it fixed.
Yeah.
So hopefully y'all all stayed well.
I hope so too.
And then,
I know a lot of people lost electricity for a period of time, and that would have been.
That's why we lost the water at the place where we hunt and do all the meat processing and all that. It's a well water, best water, and I say it all the time.
Yeah.
Best water in the entire world. Just like Kentwood spring water. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's the artesian spring that the wells on. Problem is, it's great until the power goes out. Because the wells, it runs off electric, and it went out, and evidently that's what froze that line.
It is the best water.
And no chemicals in it. I'll tell you a secret on it. If you go, you're not there for like 4 days, your toilet be clean as shit.
Oh, yeah.
And you go in and it's got some black around it. And
yeah.
It looks, you think that you didn't clean your toilet, but it's not true.
It's because there's
no chemicals,
chlorine
and nothing in that water.
Yeah.
That water makes good moonshine.
Well, what I typically do when we go up there, I forgot this. Obviously, we lived up there for a period of time. Mm-hmm. And when we lost our Maurepas house, but typically when I go up there, I wash my hair prior, and then I go through the stages of I don't wash my hair. It's down for a couple of days and it goes into a ponytail, and then, and then I wash my hair when I get back, because in my opinion, the pressure in the shower isn't like really strong.
Yeah.
And so
that house is old as fuck.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just don't want to deal with it. Plus, usually when I'm up there, it's like cold or hot, and I don't want to do my hair anyway. I washed my hair the last time we were there, and it was the best my hair looked in a long time.
All that shit in your hair is going, thank you for the chemicals in me. Thank you, Jesus.
Now I'm going to reschedule the way I do my hair. I'm not going to do it before I go. I'll do it when I get there and when we leave.
There you go. There you go. We got a lot of meat to process and stuff too. And as we speak, Wisconsin's in town. The hog hunt is on.
And as we speak, you aren't going to remember any.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting.
You're not going to get brucellosis this year.
Nope. I've called that out ahead of time.
Can I tell on you?
What?
When we did the hog last week, what you did?
I actually washed my hands.
And you did something else.
I put on gloves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I almost died. I mean, I'm crazy and all that shit, but 9 nights in the hospital and then the home health care and all that shit. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
And not invincible like I thought it was. But let's get out to true crime time for Monday. Lay it on them, sister.
So I think sometime last week, you and I were alone and we were talking about potentially putting WL back in school. Right?
Right.
Because, the socialization factor
benefits,
it's just in the
he's
talks.
Smarter than hell.
Right.
Right.
And we were just talking about it, and you noticed that my face, I was worried. And the story I'm fixing to tell you about is what was on my mind.
All right.
So there was another school shooter in Tennessee.
It seems like every week.
I know. And it's just, I don't want to live in fear, right? We've got to go on with our lives, but I don't know. It's just something that scares me to death.
He's got to go to school at some point, somewhere, whether it's college or Army or whatever.
Yeah. A student shot 2 of his classmates in the school cafeteria before turning a gun on himself. This was in Antioch High School in suburban Tennessee on Wednesday. So about 5 days ago.
Right.
Before the gunman shot and killed himself. So a 17-year-old male student armed with a handgun opened fire in the school's cafeteria at 11:09 a.m. And he hit 2 students. One of them was a 16-year-old female, and she succumbed to her injuries at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. And the gunman was identified as Solomon Henderson. And like I said prior, he turned the weapon on himself. The other wounded student had his arm grazed by the bullet, but is in stable condition at Vanderbilt. Another male student was also at Vanderbilt with an injury to his face, but it did not appear to be from a gunshot wound. 2 student resource officers, SROs, which you talk about a lot, were at the school at the time of the attack, but were not near the cafeteria. I know when I was at Maurepas during lunch, the SROs were in there with the students.
It's a good visual deterrent, and you have all the students together at one time.
Right.
Shit's going to pop off. But it's probably going to happen there.
Right. Antioch, Tennessee is located roughly 17 miles southeast of Nashville city center and has roughly 2,000 students. So the school district announced on social media that Antioch High School was put on lockdown after the shots were fired inside the school, and a family assistance center has been set up at the nearby Ascension Medical Group office.
And it's tough, and I could only imagine you running in and seeing your students dead on the floor.
I mean,
but I don't know. There's no answer for it.
No.
I guess Antioch didn't have metal detectors. It's a fucking shame that their kids have to walk through metal detectors and stuff anyway. But if it stops them from dying, it's just like TSA. I hate that shit.
Right.
I remember before there was TSA, but if it stops my ass from getting blown up on a plane, I guess I can wait in line.
Yeah.
Get there 2 hours early.
Well, you don't mind the 2 hours early.
Yeah, because I'm going to the bar. But they say it. Please arrive. We advise that you arrive 2 hours early.
Oh my God.
For your flight. Yeah.
You're going to tell that story?
Not today.
Okay. That's a good story.
So, all right. Sorry for those kids.
That's just heartbreaking.
I hate it. It's heartbreaking and tragic, and just another one, huh? I mean, what the hell?
And I guess, this just happened relatively, so there's no, he didn't have any notes on him, or there hasn't been any reports of that yet.
I talk about him anyways. I'm sorry he's a kid, but he's a piece of shit for killing those other kids. And he did the right thing on taking himself out. I don't know. Fuck him. I mean, I know that sounds harsh, but he killed that little girl and forever scarred all those people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all, we're going to go to the border. Most of y'all have heard me talk about my father-in-law. Cindy's dad was retired section chief for the whole southern border in South Texas, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rest in peace. It's a pretty dangerous job. And It used to be back in his day, it was Hispanic people coming over. Now they got all different types, Muslims and Hispanics and Chinese and just people who can't get in the country legally. But don't forget, y'all, our border is to the north and the south. And we're going to tell you a sad story about U.S. Border Patrol agent David Chris Malin. And he was tragically murdered near the Vermont-Canada border. Now, after he was murdered, a Washington State resident, Teresa Youngblood, 21, was taken into custody, according to the FBI's office in Albany, New York. They said the United States Attorney's Office, District of Vermont, has charged Youngblood with assault on a federal law enforcement officer. Our hearts remain with partners at the U.S. border, Swanton sector, as they mourn this tremendous loss. Now, Malin, who's 44, was struck by gunfire during a traffic stop on Interstate 91 between Newport and Orleans, Vermont. Here's this picture. Look at him. Shit, he's 11 years younger than me. Malin was a Minnesota native and a U.S. Air Force veteran, and he worked as a Border Patrol agent at the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Newport Station. He spent 9 years in the military and 15 working for the federal government. Listen to this. He also was a K-9 handler and previously served as a Border Patrol agent in Texas near the southern border. And that's what his family told the Associated Press. It said on January 20th, 2025, at approximately 3 p.m., an on-duty uniformed States Border Patrol agent initiated a stop of a blue 2015 Toyota Prius hatchback, which had a North Carolina license plate, to conduct an immigration inspection, and it was driving southbound on Interstate 91 in Coventry, Vermont. This is according to the FBI criminal complaint. The registered owner of the vehicle, Felix Balkault, a citizen of Germany, appeared to have an expired visa in a Department of Homeland Security database. Now, Youngblood was driving the Prius, and Balkault was the lone passenger in the Prius. Mm-hmm. Between approximately 3 p.m. and 3:15 p.m., agents reported gunshots at the scene. Supervisory Border Patrol agent Cameron Thompson was notified of the incident and responded to the scene of the stop, arriving at approximately 3:35 p.m. He spoke with 2 of the Border Patrol agents involved in the incident. They described that both Balkault and Youngblood possessed firearms, and that Youngblood drew and fired a handgun toward at least one of the uniformed Border Patrol agents without warning when outside of the driver's side of the Prius. Balkault then attempted to draw a firearm, and at least one Border Patrol agent fired at Youngblood and Balkault with his service weapon. The exchange of gunfire resulted in the Border Patrol agent Malin, Youngblood, and Balkault all sustaining gunshot wounds. Balkault was declared deceased at the scene as a result of his injuries. Malin also died after being taken to a local hospital for emergency care, while Youngblood is currently receiving care at a facility in New Hampshire, and this is according to the affidavit. So, a Vermont State Police crime scene search team that investigated the area following the gunfire found 2 packets of suspected cell phones wrapped in what appeared to be aluminum foil that were left behind the Border Patrol tie after the bomb squad clearance. So these people were up to no fucking good.
Absolutely.
A search of the Prius later uncovered various pieces of tactical gear, including a ballistic helmet, night vision goggle monocular, a tactical belt with holster, and a magazine loaded with cartridges, 2 full-face respirators, 48 rounds of .380 caliber jacketed hollow point ammunition that's meant to kill.
Yeah.
A package of shooting range targets, some of which were used, 2 handheld 2-way radios, approximately a dozen electronic devices, and multiple removable electronic storage devices, among other items. Mm-hmm. They were about to tear some shit up, right? The FBI also said investigators had been performing periodic surveillance of Balkault and Youngblood since on or about Tuesday, January 14th of 2025. Now, a concerned citizen, an employee of a hotel in Lyndonville, Vermont, contacted law enforcement after a male and female had checked into the hotel, and she contacted to report concerns about them, including that they appeared to be dressed in all black tactical style clothing with protective equipment, with the woman later identified as Youngblood carrying an apparent firearm in an exposed carry holster. I mean, you can carry that down here, but I don't think about it done. It's not even done. We're just getting started. Investigators with the VSP and Homeland Security, I guess it's Vermont State Police, and Homeland Security investigations attempted to initiate a consensual conversation with Balkault and Youngblood, but they declined to have an extended conversation, claiming that they were in the vicinity to look at purchasing property. When, fuck her and the rest of it. Hearts and prayers for that guy doing his job, man. And so gave his life, literally dedicated his life, and then gave his life to protecting all of us from these idiots, these lone wolves they're talking about now that are so dangerous, like what happened in New Orleans.
Right.
And thank God, I hate that he got killed, but thank God they stopped him.
Yeah.
Because you got all that thing. Thank God that lady called it in.
Right.
And you got all that tactical gear and all that electronic equipment. And then, the cell phones are make IEDs and they set off Yep. It's going to be bad business for somebody. So we'll never know how many lives they saved.
Exactly. Truly,
sir, you're a hero and we love you and pray for all your fellow peeps.
But yes, for sure. And thank goodness, like you said, they did call in that tip. You always say no tip is too small.
Call it in.
And, yeah.
But a lot of people, when I talk to them over the years, when they call in stuff like that, or if they didn't call it in, they got there and they were, oh man, I saw that and I was going to say something, but I didn't want to bother y'all.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you're not bothering the police.
Right.
Call it in. That's what they do.
Right.
I've never, even the worst meth head tripping out motherfucker in the world, I have never been upset about having to respond to their house for whatever the complaint was.
Right.
That's when I was in uniform. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Right. And a lady wanted me to do a rape kit on her horse.
Right.
I wasn't mad at her.
Right.
She was just fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So call it in. Well, you never know when you're going to stop it, especially nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, that doctor in Germany at the Christmas market killed all those people, the guy that killed all those people in New Orleans. And I mean, I know that's why we don't say their names, because one breeds another. We say, when I was a homicide detective, we said it comes in threes. And by God, they do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know you got some
more love,
but this is like, I think it's criminal what you're about to read them, because it just fucking trips me out. Another just horrible. I mean, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine this. And we are going across the pond.
It's time for worldwide crime.
So we're going to Ankara.
Ankara.
I hope I'm saying
it's like Turkey, right?
Yeah, in Turkey. And
somewhere we're never going.
A fire raged through a 12-story hotel at a popular ski resort in northwestern Turkey.
So, you wouldn't think, like I said, I grew up skiing. I was blessed, my parents, right? And I haven't done it in many, many years. Let me talk about it before you get started. Even after, my parents would take us, but they took the two oldest brothers one year, and we stayed behind. We were young as fuck. And then the next year, they took the two older brothers, and my parents had been going skiing without us.
Yeah.
And then they took the two oldest brothers, and then my older sister and me. But as soon as we got there, they stuck our ass in ski school.
Yeah.
Because they went and skied and did whatever, basically. And, but that was fun. I mean, I had a good time. And then my younger sister got to go, and then we spent Christmases at the different resorts and stuff. And most of them were like condos, and we would rent condos and stuff like that, not 12-story hotels. Like Aspen, you can't even have anything on the outside of a building like a Starbucks or whatever that represents something like that.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have a 12-story hotel like a Hampton Inn or whatever. But I didn't even know Turkey was a skiing place.
Skiing.
Yeah. I guess they find out what's close to them.
Well, a 12-story hotel, a fire raged through it, and it killed at least 76 people.
That's what blew my mind. That is a lot of people.
Well,
that died burning. Burning, I'd much rather drown than get burned. Just telling you.
At least 2 of them died when they jumped out to save their lives. The building from
people jumping. Well, I mean, you jump from the World Trade Center, you're going to die.
Absolutely, but you would rather.
I choose death by jumping than burning.
And asphyxiation from smoke.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
Fuck being burned.
Yeah. At least 51 people also were injured in the fire at the Grand Cardinal Hotel in Kardakaya in Bolu province, and which is the Korglu Mountains. which is 300 kilometers east of Istanbul. And the fire occurred near the start of a 2-week winter break for schools when hotels in the regions are packed.
No, it's like
prime.
We would always go like a lot of times during Mardi Gras, because most of the United States wasn't up there.
Exactly.
But sometimes you go during Christmas and everything is packed.
Right.
Like everything, your lunch line to lift lines to whatever.
Right.
Right.
So we are in deep pain. We have unfortunately lost 66 lives in the fire that broke out at this hotel. Lakaya told reporters after inspecting the site. Atakan Yelkovan, a hotel guest staying on the 3rd floor, told a news agency there was chaos on the upper floors as other guests tried to escape the fire, including by trying to climb down from their rooms using sheets and blankets.
Can you imagine? I mean, they had minutes. They had time. They knew they couldn't get down and the fire's burning up. And so you were like, I imagine a lot of them had kids with them and shit.
Yeah. People on the upper floors were screaming. They hung down sheets. Some tried to jump, Yelkovan said. Yelkovan added also that 45 of the 76 people killed have been identified, while efforts to identify the other victims are continuing. I mean, that just tells me that they were burned so badly that they're unrecognizable.
Let me tell you a little bit about it real quick. Okay. So a waitress at the same place has become the 78th victim of the blaze that ripped through the ski resort in Turkey. And Sawal Sahin, 25, died in intensive care on Wednesday, January 22nd. She jumped from a 12th floor window at the Grand Cartel Hotel while it was on fire. She also called her father to seek advice before she jumped out, and she had only worked at the resort for just over a month.
Jeez,
can you believe that?
Yeah.
So real quick, she called her father that night and said, "Dad, what am I going to do?" And her father said, "Don't jump, my daughter." Then after talking for 10 minutes, the phone was cut off, and her friends who were with her also perished in the fire.
A ski instructor at the hotel said that he woke up to the fire and rushed out of the hotel, helping 20 people get out. But he said that there was so much smoke that nobody could find the emergency exits.
Horrible.
And he said, "I couldn't reach some of my students. I hope they are okay." And of course, the television images showed the roof and the top floors of the hotels on fire. This one man says, "My wife smelled the burning. The alarm did not go off. We tried to go upstairs, but couldn't. There were flames. We went downstairs and came here." Which, why would you go upstairs during a fire?
Right, if you can't get
down,
you can't get down, you go up, right? The higher you go up and you get on the roof and hope they put it out before, or somebody gets there with a ladder to get your ass off before you burn up.
Yeah. Yelkovan said also that it took an hour for firefighting teams to arrive.
I can only imagine.
You imagine what? So part of the 160 room hotel is on the side of a cliff, which also hampered efforts of fighting the flames.
Right.
And because the rear side is on a slope, intervention could only be made from the front and side.
So they ski out the door. There's a lot of places in Snowmass and Aspen where you stay in the condos and you ski right out the door down to the left.
Can you imagine? I bet
So the thing is, y'all, why it's a worldwide crime is that shit just doesn't happen.
And then so of course they can't turn off all the gas. So there was a gas explosion on top of it, which affected another ski resort because I guess the gas lines are all connected. And so 4 other people were injured there because of that. 2 skiers and their instructor were slightly injured, while another instructor received 2nd-degree burns to his hand and face because they were just nearby. And it's just sad.
And back to it again, the reason we did it under worldwide crime, first of all, that's a lot of people to die. Yeah, but it reminds me of 9/11 when people had time to call their loved ones. They knew they were going to die.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, your daughter calling and saying, what am I going to do? They can hear, they'll start crying.
That's why I stand outside every time people leave.
And then, but what I'm telling you is this should happen. They're going to be held. I don't know how they're going to work in Turkey, but for the people to be able to not get downstairs. Fires just don't fucking happen.
Right.
It takes 3 things: fuel, oxygen, and spark.
Yeah.
And I bet in dollars to donuts somebody did it.
Right. And they're trying to say it was a kitchen. It started
absolutely.
in the kitchen.
What are they going to say?
Right.
But you better believe they're going to look at it. Even if it was in the kitchen, then it's going to be something that they didn't maintain. Exactly. Something that it should have never happened.
Exactly.
And I hate that. I hate it for them. It's an absolutely heartbreaking story. Just, you go there and you don't think that that's going to be the last time you're ever going to, you're just skiing, I think it's the last time you're ever going to be alive, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to Hawaii, which you and I have been, and we love you lifers out there very much, but we're not going back. It's beautiful, just not our cup of tea, right?
Right.
And my mama warned me.
She did.
She said, go ahead and do it. Get it out of your system because we win and whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's just not.
And we're the beachy of beach people, but we're not the bougie of beach people.
Right. You talk about expensive, right? Dawn Momohara was found dead in a building on her high school campus in Honolulu. Stick with me. It's now a nearly 50-year-old Hawaii cold case.
Okay.
This Dawn says.
Okay.
All right. So guess what? It might have finally been solved. I love solving some cold cases, right? And they actually arrested a suspect in a Utah nursing home.
Wow.
I love that. I love when they catch them old motherfuckers that got away with it for 50 years, 50 Christmases. I'm going to tell you all about it, but think about that. You sitting in a Utah nursing home, you killed this girl 50 years ago and you got away with it. The last thing you expect is them to come handcuff you and drag you out. But Dawn Momohara, 16, she was 16 years old, y'all. And she was found dead on the 2nd floor of McKinley High School in Honolulu on March 12th, 1977. The year Star Wars came out, I was 7 years old. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled with an orange cloth, which was found tightly wrapped around her neck. And that's according to Honolulu Police Lieutenant Deanna Tomes. The morning before she was killed, Dawn got a phone call from an unknown male. Now, this is a long time before cell phones. Think about that, right? I was watching one of the crime shows last night, and these cheerleaders all got raped and one of them got killed. But each one of them would get a phone call the day before, a male asking for a person that didn't live at the residence.
Oh, that's...
but guess what? He turned out to be one of the football players that murdered him. Anyway, back to it. So the morning before Dawn was killed, she got a phone call from an unknown male. Later, she told her mom that she was going to a local shopping center. Remember, y'all, they didn't have malls in 1977, with her friends. And her mother never saw her again. For decades, no suspect was charged in connection with Dawn's murder, despite a sketch of his face and a description of his possible vehicle, which was a 1974 or 1975 Pontiac Le Mans with a maroon body and white vinyl top. Are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? I know Cyndi was, and if you're a woman, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent-free in our environment right now, found in our food, water, and even in our skincare products. These disruptors can wreak havoc on our hormones. Believe me, before Hormone Harmony, I watched Cyndi suffer. Not anymore. Hormone Harmony's formula, made only with herbal ingredients, have reduced Cyndi's hormonal symptoms, and it helps women of all ages. Then there are the natural hormonal changes our bodies face, such as menopause. While these processes are part of life, they don't have to be uncomfortable. The good news is that you don't have to suffer through it any longer. Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts known as adaptogens, designed to help the body cope with stressors, including those chaotic hormonal fluctuations that can disrupt your daily life. Whether it's PMS symptoms like irritability and cravings, or menopause symptoms such as hot flashes and night sweats, Hormone Harmony can help with it all. Happy Mammoth, the creator of Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to improving women's lives by using only high-quality science-backed ingredients. They make no compromises on quality, ensuring that you receive the best support possible. This isn't just a supplement. It has become a phenomenon. Women are talking about it everywhere, with a bottle of Hormone Harmony sold every 24 seconds. And the most important benefit, women express feeling like themselves again. A sentiment echoed in over 30,000 positive reviews. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com. Don't forget to use the code RLRC for 15% off today. You want to set your child up for success? Is your child struggling with a specific subject, or do they need a challenge to keep them engaged? IXL Learning is an online learning program that enriches your homeschool curriculum. It offers practice in math, English, language arts, science, and social studies, and adapts to each child, meeting them at their personal level. As a homeschool parent, I can tell you that IXL has been life-saving for my son, WL. He uses IXL every day, and it allows me to tailor his learning experience based on his specific skills, not just his grade level. If he needs support, IXL finds his current level and helps him build up to where he needs to be. And in areas where he's advanced, IXL propels him forward without any setbacks. What I love most is that IXL uses visuals in its questions and lessons, which really helps WL learn math and science better since he is a visual learner. The interactive practice problems and educational games make learning fun and engaging. With IXL, school is a positive, fun experience. WL enjoys earning awards in the educational games. IXL is trusted by 15 million students worldwide and has proven to improve performance in over 75 scientific research studies. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. Real Life, Real Crime listeners can receive an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/today. Visit IXL.com/today to access the most effective learning program at the best price. Ain't that many of those in Hawaii. Now, Honolulu police say a DNA match has led them to arrest Gideon Castro, a 66-year-old man living in a Utah nursing home. And according to Lieutenant Thames, Castro had graduated from McKinley High School in 1976 and had met Dawn at a school dance the same year. Now, DNA samples, thank God they kept them, from the investigation were tested by a lab in 2019, which led to Castro and his brother being identified as potential suspects. Wow. They use that familiar DNA, right?
Wow.
So Castro's brother was eventually excluded as a suspect after further testing, which led to Castro's arrest. And right now, and I wish I could tell you more, that it's not clear about what's going on. The investigation's still going on. I love that. I mean, I hate it for a beautiful young girl's family.
Right.
50 years this asshole's been getting away, and he's probably got more bodies.
Oh,
or maybe some of them kill young like that and be like, oh, fuck that. There wasn't
it was a accident.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, like he raped and killed her.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely fucking did it, but he could have been like, oh shit, that's not like part of my fantasy. It didn't really feel the way that I thought it was going to feel, and someone never kill again. But imagine the DNA. I'm sure it was semen or whatever, but 50 years old.
I wonder, this would probably, I don't know, be not possible, but as you were reading that, I was thinking, what if they just started taking DNA when you're born and just put that in CODIS?
Well,
and then everybody's in a database.
Like in, I think it was Switzerland or Sweden or Norway. I was watching one the other day. So when DNA, they used to catch that guy in California that was the serial killer for so many years, Green River, whatever his name was. They used the familiar DNA. The scientists I can't remember where it was. I think it was Norway or something. And he went to the police and this case ended up being like 16, 18 years old. A little boy got stabbed at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then a lady went to help him, got stabbed to death. And then the cop never gave up. And then finally the scientist showed up, and he's like, I could do this, but we have to, and they tested everybody. We got people to voluntarily come back. I'm talking about the 16 years before, and they swabbed people when it was like after DNA was invented, and it never got a match. And then long story short, they fucking narrowed it down by what region they came from, what family lines it could be, and they traced it down, and they got the motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, but it was illegal. They weren't supposed to use, and they knew it. They knew they weren't, the cops knew they weren't supposed to use the family databases, and they had sent it up to the legal. I think they sent it to a judge. A judge was like, no, you can't do that.
It's invasion of
privacy. They knew the order was coming back down for them not to do it, but they went ahead and fucking did it anyway.
Yeah.
But it acted like they didn't get the order until later on, which hats off to them.
Yeah.
Know? But I don't know about taking it. I don't know. But I know in the state of Louisiana, they've passed a law now where if you're convicted of any type of crime of violence in certain other categories of crimes, they swab you automatically and put you in CODIS. And I think every state should have that. I don't know about, I'm not like the big anti-government or whatever the thing, but I don't know if I want my grandbaby shit in there until she has a choice to put it in there.
No, I get it. I understand.
Because it could be used. Who knows what kind of technology they're going to have. DNA started when I started in law enforcement. What's going to be in another 30 years?
Well, look at just how much.
They make a clone, and they could do. Who knows?
They can clone. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I understand.
But I think everybody that gets fucking arrested ought to do it, and everybody that serves in public office ought to do it. And if you don't have anything to hide, you get arrested, fuck you can get your shit.
Yeah.
And if you're going to run for public office or maybe even be in law enforcement or whatever, swab it. Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. Right? That might save your life one day or something.
Anywhere that you do a background check also to get a job, like a teacher,
why not? Why not? But I don't think.
I understand, but
they don't have to be a teacher. If that was part of the deal, you'd be like, that's a deal breaker for me. Like if it's an NFL player and they say you give a DNA test or you don't get a contract.
Yeah.
The motherfucker has a choice to walk away.
Right. Yes, exactly. But I'm thinking about when I was young, my dad had, this was before my dad would take almost every visit, he would take a new picture of me, had a card,
you told me
all of my fingerprints, an updated description.
You know why? Because he saw a lot of white girls get kidnapped and go across the border.
No, exactly. Yeah. But so that's kind of and I did that for Sophie in LA, also for the same reasons. And so I'm kind of looking at it like that, because what if my DNA, what if I go missing and you don't have you would have my DNA because I live here, but I'm just looking at it from different angles.
If you go missing,
you're not looking for me.
Nobody's going to be looking for you.
Sophie would.
No, I would make sure that nobody can look for you.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Hey, y'all so Cold Case Files, Murder in the Bayou, Evil in Cajun Country debuted on A&E last Friday night at 9:00 Central Standard Time. Now, a lot of people we don't have cable anymore, and most people don't, but you could get it on different streaming services. A lot of them are going to make you wait until the day after. So you can have it by now. It's on Hulu. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on, you just go to your TV and type in Cold Case Files, Murder in the Bayou. And it's actually, the name of the episode is episode 5. And it's Evil in Cajun Country. And you should all go watch it and give yourself, we don't give any money for you watching it, but give yourself a pat on the back because it's Courtney Coco's story done again, and not like Dateline did it, done again. And it's very important, and lifers were dead. It would have never happened. It would have never happened. The conviction of this piece of shit would have never happened had they not stepped up, and we covered it on the podcast. And they actually say it in the description, podcaster, the case was cold and retired detective turn podcaster, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you something funny. I don't know if you knew this or not. So I showed up, we filmed for several days. I showed up, pimped out. I always wear polo, and I have since I was a kid, and that's just what I like. And they last forever. I have some shirts, 20 years old.
Yeah.
I showed up
in your polo,
macked out, dress slacks, the jacket, and the producers were like, "You can't wear polo." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And it was a white shirt with the blue polo.
Yeah.
They're like, "You can't wear that." And I said, "Well, we can go to Walmart and get you a shirt." I said, "Motherfucker, I'm not wearing a shirt from Walmart." Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but not on fucking national TV. And they were ready to start filming my shit.
Yeah.
And I had 2 days of filming to do. Ended up, and this is going to be funny because
you don't know what it looks like.
I know. Ended up, one of the producers gave me their shirt, which wasn't a tuck-in shirt. It's like a light blue button up. I think it was short sleeve and
totally
with
not
collars.
your style.
Oh, it's not
totally
me.
not your style.
Not me, 1,000%. So I can't wait to see what kind of comments we get about that. And the next day when I went back, I went to Dillard's. Yeah, because I like to look nice. Now that Cindy's laughing because I've been wearing the same clothes probably for 10 days now, and since I've been home, not 10 days.
He just smelled himself too.
That's not true. But I am going to take a shower when we get done recording today. But being at home like this in the cold, I ain't got anywhere to go. But when I go, I will roll correct. So I go to Dillard's and I can't find a fucking shirt with everything's got some type of emblem on it. Yep. And so I ended up getting like a dry fit blue short sleeve shirt. But it doesn't matter. It's really about Courtney's story, right?
Yes, it is definitely about Courtney's story.
And I don't know. It's really, really, and like Miss Stephanie's going to watch it at a friend's house, but she's got it saved because she can't get it to stream until the day later. Yeah. So she's going to watch it at a friend's house and all that. And
it is a testament to a mom's love, right? And her support system that kept her going.
That is a hell of a family.
Yeah.
And y'all, hashtag justice for Haley. We got the same.
Another hell of a family.
Hell of a family. And so please go listen to that. Hashtag justice for Haley drops on Fridays. Patreon convicts, Apple subscribers, you get it way early, usually on Monday or Tuesday. We don't have a set time frame on it, but you get it way earlier than you ever gotten Patreon episodes before.
Absolutely.
And then bonus episodes and materials. And you got to remind me, I got to go through and pick out another round of stuff to put up.
Yes.
And I need to do that
before
I leave. I know. But see, y'all, please go do that. We're getting close to where we need to be. But I'm not ready. I'm not done telling the story yet. When you listen to this past Saturday's episode, you'll understand. That was unscripted, raw and unscripted. I just called Miss Barbara to ask her a couple questions, and the next thing I knew, we were an hour in the conversation.
Exactly.
With Tyler and Stella.
And we said, you saw the raw and unscripted because there was a part that we were going to delete.
Well, one part I was like, Cindy, you can delete that because I didn't want everybody to know about it yet. Yeah. Then Tyler called it. And sent me a message last night, and I was like, "Oh, well, I can get it deleted." And then I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not deleting it. It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's coming anyway. Exactly. Right? Build a little intrigue, if you will. But y'all, and this show, holy shit, the numbers are fantastic because evidently people like when me talk about killing you and hiding you and shit.
They do. I also get messages from people saying they don't like you interrupting me and you cutting me off. I get
messages about you. I would never even tell you about
you
that.
Lie like a dog.
You don't know the messages I be getting.
You don't know the messages I get. Yours are probably like, your wife is the sweetest thing.
Does it rain in your world?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm a happy-go-lucky person.
But y'all, we're just doing it off the cuff. And thank you for liking and listening and sharing. And those of you who send messages that I interrupt her, I do that to everybody.
And you talk down to me.
That's their perception.
But then for that, I get also, I love you and Woody's relationship. And I want you can see the love between y'all. Everybody has their own perception.
And if you don't like it, you can turn it off.
That's what I was going to end that with.
Thank you we do like you liking it. And we're just being us. So with that, we're getting off of here. Okay?
Okay.
And holler at y'all next time. Woody Overton, your host of true crime time for, are we on the second episode? Are we on Tuesday yet? We're still on
We're
Monday.
on Monday.
For Monday. Say your name.
Cyndi Overton.
I'll y'all next time. Peace.